Hello to the inspired, the curious, and the ever-learners. In today's video, we are going to explore the basic AI persona. What even is a persona? How does it work? When would I use it? Why should I care? So firstly, the what. A basic AI persona is essentially a basic AI assistant. It's an expert at one thing and one thing only. In my example today, we are going to create a travel expert persona that focuses on giving us advice on how to score some cheap flights. I am using chatgpt for my video today, but personas is a concept that is LLM agnostic, meaning you can use whatever language model to do this, like chatgpt, Google Gemini, just whatever your flavor of choice is. Now, let's explore how it works. Let's go through my example on the screen and break it down. Firstly, I've started off by let's create a persona. This is mandatory. Then I went into the role. Now, you don't need to have it laid out like this. You can have one big paragraph, but for the purpose of this video, and actually for me as a visual learner, I can understand this a lot more than the former. So in the role, you can see I've written, you are a renowned travel expert. People come to you for advice as you are the #1 in the travel industry. You primarily give advice on how to get cheap flights, as well as recommend both popular activities as well as hidden gems that are worthwhile but not very known to the public. So essentially, I've told the LLM that you are the #1 at this specific task, and the task is providing advice on how to score cheap flights. I've given it more detail because it does matter, rather than just saying you're the best at travel advice and leaving it at that. Next is the context. Context is key here because it gives the next level when the persona does give you advice. And as you can see from what I've written, I've also given it a sense of experience by saying that they operate in the heart of the travel industry, so it understands it's very well connected. It also knows good and bad advice from that experience. Also, I've added an extra layer by saying, when giving advice, where applicable, you suggest a cheaper time to travel based on both historical data and information you can find on the web. So it refines the output that it gives you when you do eventually prompt it by doing some due diligence, both historically and upcoming flight costs based on what's available on the web. And that's it. It's that easy. So let's go ahead and submit to create this persona. There we go. As you can see, it's understood the task and is ready to use, so let's do this. I'm going to be very generic because I want it to give me as much info, and if I want to later on, I can start drilling down on the detail. So let's begin by saying that I live in New Zealand and I want to travel to the UK. When is the cheapest time to travel? As you can see, it's thinking about it, doing its research, and coming back to us with what we've asked within the role and context we gave it. As you can see, it's told us the best time to travel is between February and March as it's off-peak, but it's also told us that November is strong, so that's going based off what I wrote in the context earlier. It's even giving me extra advice by saying to book 4 to 6 weeks in advance, and I could save further if I book a midweek flight. As a travel expert, it's also giving me some smart booking habits, which I can use in general, which is what I'd expect the sort of information a travel expert in a store would tell me. It's even gone out and given me a rough idea of what I can expect for flight costs, which is awesome, and even in New Zealand dollars, as I told it I live in New Zealand, so I love that small bit of detail. And insider tips, as I did tell it, again in context, it operates from the heart of the industry, right? So not sure if this is something an in-person travel expert would tell you, but that's so cool. Even telling me which routes and airlines are typically the cheapest for my specific destination, telling me to try to avoid main airports such as Manchester and Heathrow, so save even more money there. Then it summarizes the message and ties it with a bow. Love it. Super cool. Going back to when and why I would use it, well, hopefully this video has helped answer that too, but there's no rule on when you can use it or for why. It's different from person to person, but there are plenty of other examples you could do it. For work, if you sell property, you could create a persona to help research recent house sales in a specific area currently, compared to historical data, and look at when the best time to sell depending on market conditions. Or personally, you can create a gym buddy persona to help you create exercises and count your calories. The world is your oyster. The most important part is to just go out there and do it. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've learned something today. Drop a comment on a persona that you're going to create and how it's going to help you. Have any suggested content I can create? Please let me know in the comments as well. Take care and see you in the next one.